The idea of elevating your consciousness sounds noble, almost heroic. But is it really attainable for everyone? Or is it a luxury reserved for the few who have the resources, the time, and the privilege to pursue it? Today, we're diving into a controversial question: is elevating consciousness an exclusive pursuit? Imagine this: your thoughts are not just words or fleeting ideas. They're blueprints that design your life. Your beliefs, your mindset, they create your experience of reality. But how do we upgrade that blueprint when it seems like the tools needed are reserved for those with time and money? This is the knowledge most people will never discover, until now. Many of us hear about the benefits of meditation retreats, the power of yoga, or the value of mindfulness practices. These are all part of the journey to elevate consciousness. But let's face it, not everyone can afford a week off to go to the mountains, or the time to dedicate hours every day to introspection. Is elevating consciousness, then, only for the elite? The people with access to expensive retreats, advanced teachings, and exclusive workshops? Think about that for a moment. There is a secret here, one that many in the wellness industry don't often mention. You don't need expensive retreats or exclusive gurus to start elevating your consciousness. Yes, these tools help, but the core truth remains: awareness starts within. And this truth is often hidden in plain sight. Imagine your beliefs are like the operating system of your life. Now, just like your computer or your phone, if that system is outdated, everything runs a bit slower, and you start to encounter errors. Upgrade your beliefs, and suddenly, life seems to run smoother. Things click into place. But how do you upgrade when those updates seem to be a luxury? Take 1 minute right now. Close your eyes. Picture the life you want, the clear goals, the harmony in relationships, the ease in your body. This isn't just a daydream, it's an exercise in realignment. What you're doing is laying down the neural pathways that start aligning you to your vision. Let's bring it back down to earth. Philosophical musings are beautiful, but they need to be balanced with action. Take 1 minute every morning to visualize your day going exactly how you'd like it to. See yourself handling challenges gracefully. Imagine each conversation bringing clarity. You don't need hours, just 60 seconds. This simple exercise has power. It's not reserved for gurus, it's for anyone willing to take a moment and focus. Your beliefs shape your reality. We hear this phrase often. But let's revisit it. How do beliefs affect your health? How do they influence the way you approach work? And your relationships? How often do you allow a belief about yourself or someone else to determine whether you choose compassion or anger? Your beliefs lay the foundation, but it's your actions, it's those practical steps, those visualizations, those moments of mindfulness, that bring those beliefs to life. And here's where things get messy: spirituality has become a business. Wellness, enlightenment, mindfulness, they are products, wrapped in Instagram-friendly packages and sold to those searching for deeper meaning. But at what cost? Does placing a price tag on consciousness devalue it, or make it more accessible? This question has no easy answer, and it invites us to reflect on our motivations. Are we truly seeking growth, or are we being sold the illusion of growth? Let's talk about where these spiritual practices come from. Many of the techniques we use today, meditation, yoga, energy healing, originate from ancient cultures. Cultures that understood these practices deeply, who used them in specific ways for thousands of years. Now, imagine taking a sacred ritual and commercializing it without understanding its roots. It's not just about borrowing, it's about respecting the source. When we chant a mantra or perform a ritual, do we know where it comes from? Are we truly connecting, or are we just performing? This is a complex question about respect, responsibility, and authenticity in our spiritual practices. But let's address another crucial point. The pursuit of elevated consciousness isn't without its dangers. It's easy to become so focused on reaching a higher state that we disconnect from the present, the here and now. There have been many who, in the name of enlightenment, have isolated themselves, spiraled into anxiety, or even disconnected from their communities. Pause and think: can the obsession with being more aware turn into a harmful cycle? Can the pressure to achieve spiritual success actually become a form of suffering? Sometimes, spirituality can become an escape. Instead of facing real-life problems, our struggles at work, our relationships, our mental health, we dive into meditation, we lose ourselves in books about the universe, and we think we're elevating. But are we growing, or just avoiding? Growth is uncomfortable. Real spiritual practice is not just about feeling blissful. It's also about sitting with discomfort, facing our shadows, and doing the hard work of change. There's another dark side. The promise of enlightenment can be a powerful tool for control. Charismatic leaders have used the allure of higher consciousness to manipulate followers, to exert control over their lives, their money, their choices. It's important to remain discerning. Who are we following? What are we buying into? True spiritual growth empowers, it doesn't enslave. There's also the clash between science and spirituality. Elevating consciousness often dives into territories that science hasn't fully explored. The idea of energy, of vibrations, of unseen forces, these don't always have the backing of empirical evidence. Does that mean they aren't real? Or does it simply mean science hasn't caught up yet? We live in a world that values proof. But sometimes, the most transformative experiences are the ones that can't be measured. We're seeing a trend today, mixing different spiritual traditions. People pick a bit of Hinduism, a bit of Buddhism, sprinkle in some shamanism, and call it a practice. But what happens when we do this? Do we lose the essence? Are we diluting what was once deeply meaningful? Blending traditions without understanding them can lead to superficiality. True practice requires depth, respect, and understanding of where things come from. Now, let's touch on an uncomfortable truth. Spirituality often focuses on the self, my growth, my consciousness, my peace. But what about our collective responsibility? In elevating ourselves, are we forgetting about the world around us? Our communities? Our planet? Spirituality should inspire us to be better not just for ourselves but for everyone. Real consciousness isn't isolated, it's interconnected. And finally, the idea that elevating consciousness will solve everything. It's tempting to believe that if everyone just meditated, all the world's problems would disappear. But that's an oversimplification. Human problems are complex, they involve systems, history, economics, and deeply ingrained behaviors. Consciousness is a part of the solution, yes. But it's not a magic pill. It's the beginning of change, not the entirety of it. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of spirituality, its challenges, and its controversies. If this conversation sparked a thought, if it made you reflect, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below. Let's build a community that questions, that seeks, that grows together. And if you found value here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's elevate, together.